Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about how I increased my cash flow by $500 a month in California. So as everyone knows, California is a high cost of living area. It is very expensive to live here. It is very expensive to buy a home here. And on average, it's more of an appreciation market. It's not really a cash flow market. So for some context, I bought my first single family home in 2017 for $800,000. And at one point, in about 5 years, it was worth $1.3 million. And as you know, at best, the rents will be around close to $4,000. And that's not even near enough to, break even in cash flow. I'm actually negative cash flow on my property. But for some context, that was 5 years ago. Now in 2023, I just increased my cash flow in all my California single family homes by $500 a month. And let me show you how. So the first single family home that I bought back in 2017, I rented out at $3,700 a month. And I've never raised the rent since. The tenants were amazing. They paid rent on time. It was just a small family there. So because there's less people, there'd be less wear and tear. The tenants would escalate issues immediately to me to be fixed. So I self-managed the property, and personally, I was fearful to raise the rents. Despite insurance going up, HOA was going up every year for the past 5 years. Property taxes go up. There's little repairs that need to be done here and there, and the property appreciated by $500,000 over 5 years. I bought it for $800,000, and at one point, it was worth about $1.3 million. So to me, I don't mind being slightly negative a month because I was making appreciation and a lot of equity that was being built there. Like I think anyone would take negative $400 a month to make $500,000 of equity, right? I think no one would say no to that deal. But recently, 2023, I was fearful. I left my comfort zone and approached the tenant and said, "Hey, I need to bump up the rents by $200 a month." It went from 3,700 to 3,900, and I was scared of what their reaction would be. I thought they would say, "Hey, no, Steven, we want to move out." And when they move out, I have to clean up the apartment, the single family home. I have to do touch up. That's going to cost me $1,000 to $2,000. You got to clean it, do repairs, and then it's going to be vacant for 1 to 2 months until I find a new tenant. So I'm losing even more money. That's why I was always so fearful. And let me just show you the story about my single family home. So when I first got the property and rented it out, I was negative $500 per month. And then when 2021 hit during COVID, I refinanced my term to a lower term. So I went from 4% to 3%. And that helped me break even on the property. And but even despite that, like I said earlier, everything went up. HOA went up, insurance went up, everything went up. So I just increased my rent by $200 a month. And that should help cover my higher HOA costs and my higher expenses. So that's my first property in California. My second single family home in Orange County, I bought with 10% down, and it has, because I did 10% down, I have to pay $150 a month in PMI. So actually, I bought this property with the intent to live in as a primary residence in Orange County, but unfortunately, I had to relocate because I got laid off and my job was somewhere else in Los Angeles, and I had to move. So I ended up renting out the property. Initially, I rented out for $3,500 a month. About 2 years ago, and I just renewed the lease after 2 years at $3,700 a month, and the tenants immediately accepted it without even questioning it because the market rent is $4,000. So even by me raising it by 200, it's still under market by $300. And I stated that when giving the updated contract, said, "Hey, this is the average. It's $4,000. You've been a great tenant. So I don't want to raise you too much, but I don't want to be too far below market. So let me raise you slightly to 3,700." So they know. In another 2 years, I'll probably raise it again because the rents will probably would have increased again. So initially, I was negative $400 a month on this property, which is bad, but it did appreciate by over $200,000 in just 2 years. I got it for a little under $800,000. It's worth over about $1 million today. Once again, would you take negative $400 a month at 10% down plus PMI to make $200,000, I think everyone would say yes. So after 2 years, I raised the rents by $200, and now I can remove the PMI because I've built up so much equity that the bank sees more than 20% equity now. I put 10% down, so it grew by at least 10%. So now I can move that PMI. So it saves me $150 a month, plus I get 200 more in rent. So now I went from negative $400 a month to almost breaking even, minus any repairs and expenses. So let's just call it negative $100 a month. So this is the power of owning real estate in a great market for a long period of time, right? For the first 5 years, I was losing money. But after year 5, that's when I start to break even. And maybe by year 10, I'll actually start making money and still have that crazy appreciation, right? So that's the power of owning real estate and being patient. So, like I said, to reiterate, with both these single family homes, California is an appreciation market. The cash flow, you will not cash flow day one. My property in Huntsville, Alabama, that one cash flows day one. California, it's going to take at least 5 to 10 years for you to make some positive cash flow. But if you own the property long enough, which is what I recommend, you will organically increase over time where you can start to break even. And just remember, between these two properties, I was collectively negative $1,000 a month. But I made $500,000 in equity due to natural appreciation in about 5 years. At negative 100,000 a month, I cannot retire, right? I still have to work in my W-2 job, but look how much money I made tax free just by biting the bullet of this negative $1,000 a month. But now that I raised the rents, I'm now closer to breaking even. And that's what you want to do naturally. So now that I have no more higher rents in two properties, no more PMI, I get $500 more per month, which is $6,000 a year in increase in cash flow. So that is the power of owning real estate in a great market that's high, like California, and being patient with it. So like I said, that's just kind of my experience and my strategy. And I want to share it to you so that you can find value. If you found value, please like, comment, subscribe. If you want to learn about apartment complex investing, please check out the link down below. And I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you.